Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Stadium MK, which I can best describe it as being in Team Valley and a football stadium in the middle of it. It's pretty bizarre. Anyway, I'm joined on my left by Graham. You alright, Graham?
Yeah, not bad. It is a bit... it's supermarkets, isn't it, basically?
It's just literally a shopping centre with a football stadium in the middle of it. And we're joined by Paddy from Wales. You alright, Paddy?
Not too bad, yeah. I'm enjoying Wales. It's a lot nicer than Milton Keynes.
It's been a long time since you've been on our podcast. How have you been doing down in Wales?
It has. Yeah, it's been good. Getting settled into the job. Being a trained journalist now, so it feels alright. Yeah. I passed my probation, so I'm no longer a trainee.
So. Sheep yet?
Graham, come on. I've heard that joke too much.
No sheep yet then. And also is Harry. How are you doing, Harry?
Nice to meet you. Yeah, all good. All good. Looking forward to the game. Obviously a little bit disappointed that we've got to go to MK for a league game. Obviously tin pot club is this, but at the same time, just hoping for 3 points at the end of the day. We'll see how we get on.
You've not been to many Sunderland games since you've looking forward to one. So.
Oh, it's been a long time. I'll be honest with you. Just go. Me and Pad went to Shrewsbury, and just the standard of football is just dire at the moment. Just watching it, but still got to do it.
Exactly, and we are on a good run as well. And also is my cousin Jack as well. How are you doing, Jack?
Yeah, really good. Had a decent journey down. Like you've said, it's just been like in the middle of the Metrocentre, really, in the football stadiums here. So
I'm half expecting that Metro crazy train just to come round the corner. It's so bizarre. It's so mental. I did say last week on the podcast it's a lovely stadium, but I'm really going to change my mind.
It's like you're walking past it. It's like you're going past Tesco and people come out to the weekly shops, and it's like you're off to a football game. It's, I don't know. It doesn't feel right.
Well, it doesn't feel right the fact that we're recording a podcast outside of TGI Fridays. Yeah. I mean, that tells you enough, just as it is. I mean, we're outside of TGI Fridays, literally looking at the ground. So I mean, it tells you enough.
Where should go for a pint? Wagaman was at TGI.
Well, I wanted Nando's. It is crazy.
You've got a McDonald's over there, but no Burger King. On the flip side, the fact that McDonald's is open, if Eddie McGeedy's travelled.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll get Maguire one if he scores, won't we?
I'd buy him loads. He's been mint since he's been at McDonald's.
So we're going to get into the team, and Sunderland do make one change from last week. And it is John McLaughlin in goal, a back three. We're going to say back three now, aren't we? Because we're doing well. Yeah. Back three of Lynch. Yes. Sorry, just breaking the team news to Graham. Back three of Lynch, Willis and Ozturk.
Where's Flanagan?
Flanagan's on the bench. I'm getting to it. And then we've got the wing backs of Luke O'Neill and Denver Hume. Middle two, Max Power and George Dobson. Dobbo. Double appreciation. And then a front three of not Luke O'Neill, Denver. Shit. Cut that, John. Right, so it's half time. It's what can only be described as an absolute bore of a first half. I think our original footage got cut. We're going to try again. So Sunderland do line up with John McLaughlin in goal, three centre halves of Lynch, Willis and Ozturk, two in the middle of midfield, Dobson and Power, wing backs of Luke O'Neill and Denver Hume, and up front is Chris Maguire, Milton Keynes and Charlie Wyke. And the first half has pretty much been a non-event. Sunderland had a really good chance within the first 8 minutes and fell at a free kick, headed across, and Adam Ozturk managed to miss from 2 yards out. Managed to put it wide. Bar that, there's literally been nothing from Sunderland. MK Dons have grew into the game. Dean Lewington probably should have seen red for a really rash tackle on Luke O'Neill. But like I say, bar that, it's been nothing. So to talk us through the first half, we've got Paddy and Harry back. Paddy?
We haven't got going. We've been all over the place at the back. We just haven't looked confident on the ball. And it's worrying because I was saying to Harry here, like, if they could finish, we'd be in danger. But unfortunately for us, they're no good in front of goal. If they were, then it would be a different story.
We're lucky to play a Tin Pot League One team. I think that's the best thing about it. There's a reason why they're in the bottom three or the bottom four, and you can see that. They play nice football, they play attractive football, they play Sunderland off the park. We've not got close.
Do you think we're taking them a little bit lightly, considering they're at home and we're on a really good run of form? Do you think we just kind of thought we're going to show up and win?
I think we've got that mindset. It looks like we've won our last two games. If you want to play the ball around the back, that's absolutely fine. We'll sit off you. We'll let you do that. But the second it's coming into midfield, there's no pressure. Second balls are getting lost all the time. We're losing silly challenges. Obviously, Lewington should have seen red. I mean, how he stayed on the pitch for that, I do not know. When we do get on the ball and when we do go forward, we look like we can create something. But again, if that's happened two times in what, our first half?
Yeah. We've managed to conjure up one opportunity for one I can think of, and I believe it's Ali Ozturk. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but it looked like Ozturk managed to miss from 2 yards out. I mean, that's it though, isn't it, Paddy?
It's typical how like the one good chance we carve out falls for our centre half. It's typical, isn't it? It was a nice free kick, nice knock across the 6-yard box, sets up the chance perfectly. Then you've got our centre half there to. I mean, that's not really an excuse, because any professional footballer should be able to put that ball in the back of the net from where he was.
You have to be, especially in that position. You've got to be playing that.
There's no excuse. It doesn't matter what position you're playing. No chance.
I suppose the only thing I can take from the first half is that we're not behind. That's all I'm taking from it.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Defending relatively well. We're letting them have the ball, and they haven't got anything up front of it. So it's so easy for us in the halves. They're trying to play out from the back. Just nothing in the final third. When we're getting it in the final third, that final ball's really off us. I kind of think we need to change the formation a little bit.
It's a concern at half time when Charlie White is receiving the ball at the right wing position.
Yeah.
Charlie White should never be receiving the ball at the right wing position. And the fact that he's putting the ball in.
It was a really good ball as well, but it went to where you want Charlie White to be, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That's the problem.
It literally went to space where White should have been to be on the end of it.
If he's not turned around to everyone after that and gone, right, that's where I'd like it, and if you could do what I've just done, that'd be wonderful, thank you.
That's literally what I want when I'm in the box.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, the one kind of funny thing I'm taking from this that we've got like George Dobson, who's Graham Falk's stunt double, and then sat here, I'm going to have to take a picture of Harry because Harry's literally Marv from Home Alone stunt double. So that's it. That's the one thing I'm taking from it. So anyway, hopefully we'll come back at full time. It's going to be me and Jack at full time because unfortunately I have to say goodbye to these two. Because I'm going to probably miss a bus if I hang around. And I really don't fancy staying in Milton Keynes for the night. It's fucking horrible. But thank you very much, Paddy. Cheers, Harry, and we'll see you full time. Thank you very much. Right, so we're back on the bus. It's full time. Sunderland managed to get a vital 3 points thanks to an absolute storm and go by Milton Keynes. I think they probably just about deserved it. The second half was a lot better than the first. I'm here with Jack. Jack, what do you reckon of the second half? Just managed to scrape it, do you reckon?
Yes, second half a lot better. Seems like we stepped up the pitch a little bit further, decided to press them a little bit more in the second half than what we did the first, which obviously put them under a little bit of pressure. And to be fair, I thought the goal was coming. I didn't think the goal would be as good as what it was. I thought it might have been a scrappy goal, scrappy little 1-0, but Milton Keynes, absolutely superb strike to win us the game, move us back into the top 6.
Kind of sums up what Gooch has actually done in the last 3 weeks or so since he's come back from injury. He's been a different player for me. I mean, it's an absolute beauty. I mean, he gets the ball on his wrong foot, cuts in, curls it right in the top corner. I mean, they're the kind of goals that might get us promoted, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I thought we would have scored before we did, but when it gets to that sort of minute of the game, you start thinking it might not come. We weren't really creating many chances around the box for all the pressure that we had. We weren't really testing their goalkeeper. And like you say, them sort of goals, winning 1-0 away from home, with a strike out of nowhere, probably does get you promoted, hopefully at the end of the season, if you can keep that sort of consistency up.
We also had a good laugh about the goal because I don't know if anyone's seen it, but he literally scores, runs into the corner celebrating the goal, and then Gooch for some reason gets a yellow card for celebrating with a fan that entered the field of play. I mean, it's strange, isn't it? I mean, I'm glad he's not on 4 yellow cards because that was ridiculous.
Madness for me. I mean, I obviously went absolutely mad when he scored the goal because it was a great strike. But then obviously when it dies down a little bit and Gooch is like walking back towards our half and the referee gives him a yellow card for like going to the corner flag and our fans like going onto the pitch and Gooch gets booked. I seen Gooch point actually to like where he'd gone on the pitch. He never left the field of play.
Nowhere leaving the field of play.
He went to corner flag max for me. And then he's been yellow carded, but it's Sunderland, you know what I mean? The referees look to book. Sunderland plays at every opportunity at this level, it seems, especially when we get something good going.
It was getting towards, I mean, we scored relatively late on, I think it was, the 78th minute or something along those lines. Did you think that, although I think Parkinson's come in for a lot of praise recently and he has done well, especially with the second half that we came out and we actually took the game to them, but I think that maybe the changes were going to come a little bit too late. I mean, we scored literally 5 minutes after Rafferty came on. Rafferty had nothing to do with the goal, but I think he made himself look, he looks as if he's played at a higher level, but probably could have been changed a little bit earlier for me.
Personally, obviously I'm not the manager. The manager obviously knows a lot more than me, but I probably would have made a couple of changes earlier on. I thought we might have maybe done with a little bit more pace to stretch them a little bit. I thought they started to look tired as it started to get towards 70 minutes, 75 minutes. He's obviously brought Lafferty on. Lafferty done well, and we've scored after that. But I did think that changes maybe should have been made before we got the goal. But obviously the manager knows more than me, and we've won 1-0, so he'll probably say that that's justified, like his change at that end of the game. But it's all opinions at the end of the day. But for me, maybe should have made changes earlier than what we did, and maybe try and test them a little bit more. But we've obviously scored in that period of the game and won the game from there. So
I thought that the MK Dons were poor. I thought for me. And
I thought they dug in first half. I thought they made it their type of game first half. What would they probably prefer? I thought they made it a bit more second ball sort of stuff, especially in the first half, which they would prefer being in the position that they're in. We're obviously going to prefer getting the ball down and trying to play it, but it wasn't to be in the first half. It was a little bit scrappy, but second half we obviously took it to them a little bit more as soon as the second half kicked off, and once they started to get tired, for me there was only one team that was going to go on and win the game.
We seemed to let the shackles off as well. Once the goal went in, the confidence went high. We probably should have scored another one. Ali Mozturk's probably not had the greatest time in front of goal, even though he's not paid to score goals. I thought he defended brilliantly, but his chance right at the end, Rafferty's got the ball, knocked it back our 5 yards out, heads it over the bar. That could have changed the game, and I think the crowd would have gone mental if he'd managed to score. It's a poor effort, isn't it?
Yeah, Lafferty's obviously done really well. It was a good ball into a deep area. Lafferty's paled away, found himself in quite a bit of space, and normally you would think he was going to shoot there on his debut to get the headlines, but he's used his head, he's put it back across the face of goal, probably on a plate for Ozturk, to be fair, and Ozturk's put it over the bar. Obviously I was watching it from in the corner, so might have come at him at a little bit more pace than what we thought at the time, but for me I probably thought he should have scored, and luckily it hasn't come back to obviously haunt us a little bit, but I do think he should have scored from that. But credit to Lafferty for putting it back across the face of goal at that moment in the game, when obviously debut coming on, he might have just decided to just hit that.
When he came on. For me, our standout player again was obviously Milton Keynes, Luke O'Nien, but I thought once again Denver Hume on that left hand side. He is, and what he did today was brought his improvement in defending. He cut out their right midfielder when he was coming in.
I thought his 1v1 defending today was a lot better than what I've seen when we've obviously played at home. He's grown into that position on the left hand side. He's obviously stretching teams by literally hugging the touchline a lot of the times, even when we've got the ball on the right hand side.
Are you worried that someone will come in from in the transfer looks? I'm quite worried that him and Gooch might get an offer. I
don't think anybody will come in from in this window. I think obviously he's got his head down. He's improved since August, when obviously he got taken off twice within the first 2 months of the season or so. He's obviously got his head down. He's working hard. And at the moment he's made that position. He's obviously his own at the moment. He's looking very comfortable in there, which is great.
And another clean sheet as well, which that's 2 in a row. And we'd just look more compact now and more settled with Willis. Obviously Lynch come in today and did a job. McLaughlin looks more comfortable as well now. Do you think now, obviously Friday coming up, that we've really got nothing to fear now?
No, nothing to fear at all. I think obviously away from home today, it's obviously been a little bit different from playing at home the previous 2 weeks, when they've really got at teams opening.
Grinded out, didn't we?
Yeah, that's the thing. They've shown a different side to them, which I wasn't sure that they had, to be fair. But obviously, at home against Lincoln, against Wickham, we really got at them, opening 10-15 minutes, really pressed them. Today was a little bit more cagey in the first half. They've obviously regrouped in the second half, decided that pressing them a little bit higher was going to work. They started believing in their own ability a little bit more second half in terms of pressing them up the pitch. But no, I don't think we should fear anybody at the moment the way we're playing, because I think when you look at Wickham last week, Wickham being top of the league, and I know it was at home, but even Wickham underneath the press panicked.
Yeah.
So I think any team in and around us or below us in this division, if you get them pressed high up the pitch, especially with sort of the system that we're playing at the moment, will panic, and I think that plays into our hands.
Fitness levels again for 90 minutes, didn't stop running again, did we?
I think Maguire, obviously the fitness levels throughout the team, but Maguire tries to win a ball back inside our own half in nearly an added time. He gets a yellow card for standing too close to the ball from the free kick, but he tried to win the ball back early doors, and I think he must have ran from the halfway line over towards the left-hand side to try and win the ball back at that stage of the game, and you would have never have thought that from Chris Maguire back in November, early December time. So I think obviously the fitness levels have improved across the pitch, and he's the standout one where fitness levels have improved, so credit to him.
Certainly, and obviously we'll say this, credit to Phil Parkinson for turning it around. I mean, after the Bolton game, I was going for Parkinson's head, but in the last 3 weeks we've just been a different team, haven't we? And fair play to them. We put a really interesting article on ROKER Report on Monday about a week like humble pie. I'm still not ready to taste me humble pie yet, but at the end of the day, he does deserve a lot of credit for turning it around. And at the end of the season, if we go up, I'll have mine with custard. I'm sure a lot of fans will agree.
Yeah, I mean, obviously against Bolton at home, I thought that was the end. Obviously, I was standing at the back of the South Stand and people chanting for Kevin Phillips, and obviously the performance on the pitch was absolutely dire at the time. But fair play to him, he's turned it round. At the moment, obviously, I agree with Anthony. I'm not entirely on the Parkinson in bus. I'm not entirely on that, but at the moment we are obviously playing well. Whether that's due to the fact that when he came in he's tried to improve the fitness levels and it's taken longer than what he's expected, and the style of play that we're currently now playing is like obviously due to his hard work and due to his coaching staff's hard work, or whether it's just a case of maybe changing the style of play a little bit, pushing us further up the field and actually being more positive against teams rather than sitting back like what we were during November, and obviously maybe it's the start of December a little bit, I would say.
Definitely. So we'll wrap it up now, and I'll get your prediction for Friday, obviously because it's your first time on the podcast and we don't know when we'll hear from you anymore. So I'm personally going to go for a 2-1 win. Probably go for Lafferty to get his first goal for us. I would actually start Lafferty the way he's played today, and Max Power. I would say Max Power. What are you going to go for?
I went for 2-0 before the game. I did predict that I think Gooch would score today, and then obviously Lafferty came on to him really well. Obviously didn't get his goal, but I think I'll go for 3-1 next Friday. Obviously we've kept 2 clean sheets off the belt. I'm not sure if we'll go for 3 clean sheets off the belt, but at home, confidence obviously high. I think we'll win 3-1. Goal scorers will go for I think Charlie White might get back on the score sheet. I think George Dobson might score a goal, and I think Chris Maguire might get back on the score sheet as well.
Wonderful. So thank you very much, Jack, for joining us for the MK Dunn podcast, whatever you want to make of it. Cheers for Paddy, for Harry and for Graham earlier on in the piece. I've been Anthony. Hope you enjoyed yourselves, and fantastic win again. So cheers.
Take
care. Bye bye.